the world does this, but I am here making some bammy. So here, this one is complete. I'm gonna put it here for cooling, and I have different stages. So this is one that has been cool, and here is a stage for one that I've just taken out. So I have 3 stages. So making bammy. This is the one that has just been taken from the stove or the pot. This one has been here for a little longer, and this one is cool. So in making the bammy, there are a number of things that is done, and I want us to understand the whole process. Right, so we're making bammy. That's what we are doing. So there it is. I have to get rid of this extra dust. So this is the pot that I'm using. Some persons use different things. So some people use different things to make this bammy. So here I am showing my pot. So my pot, and there are a number of things. So the pot will be set to warm. You don't want it too high. See the flame? And I measure my cassava flour. And I'll tell you how this is made. So I have a cup here that I measure. I'll put 2 extra spoons or so on it. So I pour this in the pot. Then I get 2 extra spoons. Again, if you have ideal measuring container, and it depends on, then I'll spread it. So here, spreading it again. This is not made by the younger folks. Most of the older people make bammy, unless you're brought up in an area that does this a lot or for trade. So here I'm spreading it out, trying to get it as level as is possible. Again, it depends upon you. If you want them very thick, then they're going to take a longer time to bake. So basically we're baking them. And again, I can liken this to say tortilla or roti, depending on the starch that is popular in your area. So in India, they would make a whole lot of roti, and in Mexico, a lot of tortilla and cassava here is used to make these. Again, growing up with my grandmother, I would have consumed a lot of. So here I am measuring. So this cassava flour, the cassava is a root tuber, and it was harvested, peel, some people scrape, peel, and after peeling, it is pressed, or we remove the juice. The juice have some amount of high cyanide. I think it's hypocyanide. So I stand corrected there. And that we squeeze it. Older method, they tend to put it under something heavy so that the juice would be squeezed out. Nowadays we have press or things that we can use to squeeze I didn't go through that process. I squeezed it last evening. Let it air a little. And then there are some, everybody does their differently. Based on tradition, how I see my grandparents, she tend to use some amount of sweet sap leaf or anona leaf to get that fragrance. A little tip of salt is added so that it doesn't taste too fresh, so to speak. So here I have it there, and I try to get it nicely shapen. Some persons use a flat iron and they use rings. So you get them at smaller sizes. You get more uniform sizes also. So yes, I am making bammy. And bammy is high in starch. But I tell you, it is also high in fiber, and that is what you want. So it is good for breakfast. It is good for dinner. Goes well with escovitch fish. Escovitch fish, it goes well with it. So here they are, and as time goes, I will turn that one. Turn the second one. Trying to get them cool. This one is nice and cool. Right? So this process, so back to the process of making the flour, you would have caused the juice to be removed. Either you wring it, you squeeze it, but you need to get rid of as much of the juice as possible so that it doesn't have that bitter taste. Right? There are two main types of cassava. That which is bitter and that which is sweet. And again, it depends upon how it was planted. And that could be another video. So after that is done, it is rubbed out. So we tend to use our hands and we rub it. So you'd use your hand and you rub it like that in your hands. And you get it out like a flour. After that is done, it is sieved. And after you sieve it, some person, the coarser part, they put it in a mortar or a large pestle. And they pestle and mortar and they beat to get it refined. You want to get as much flour from it as possible. Yes, bammy making. Right, so what I will do now, I will check to see if I can turn this one. And again, it depends upon you. So here I'll turn, meaning flipping it over and trying to get it nicely shapen. So here I have a fork, a spoon, will be ideal. Some person have a special cloth. There's some art in flipping it such as you want to get some uniformity in it. You have to get some uniformity. So this is making bammy, right? And bammy goes well with fish, escovitch fish, right? Remember I owe you that video on escovitch sauce. It goes well with jerk pork. Again, if you check the channel is mmmrowe, where we look at a number of things, man. mmmrowe, where we look at Malachi perspective. And we look at a number of demonstrations. Here I'm showing you one demonstration, but we're going live. Again, if you join, leave a comment right down there, man. Are you enjoying the live? Or do you know how to make bammy? Again, I can show. But it's up to you to try if you want to make. Again, persons will buy them in the supermarket or in the market. But this is how many of the sellers that you'll find on the street make their bammy. Right? But I learned the art from my grandmother. Right? I learned the art there. So looking back at the pot. So you see a light brown color. Some person make them and there's no color, but that takes a longer time. The bitter cassava is ideal to make bammy. This that I'd use because we say it has more gum, it sticks together. So there's more stickability. So it coheres. The sweet can be used, but it doesn't cohere as well as the bitter. So what many persons do, they use the sweet if they cannot get out all of the juice. But again, you may have a darker color on your body. Right? So again, you can test it again. It is skill and it is experience to know exactly how to do this. Again, I'm making these. I want to have them sent or an informal form of export, you know, to a close relative of mine. So this is one of the things that I enjoy. Many young persons don't like Bammy, maybe because of the laborious process in making such. But again, once they are nicely steamed, so they can be steamed with butter and coconut milk. Again, that could be another video, right? A video idea. So I have that on my stove top, nicely coming together. So I don't want to make them too thick. I want to get a few more. Thicker they are, the longer they take to soak, and sometimes you may get some dark color. Persons don't want the dark color. So I'm going not bad. I have 4 here. That's 1 and 2, 3, plus the one on the stove. All right, so I'm not going bad. At the end, I may get 3 more, so I may end up with 7. So again, as I was saying, you know, it is a tedious process. I ensure that I learn some of these things, and these are good because we can't rely too much on the processed food. Processed food is not good for you. We have our own staple. We tend to import or use staple from other countries. We want to use a whole lot of wheat flour, whole lot of rice, because these are easy to prepare. But what about these food that we have grown up on? Yes, they may have a lot of starch, but they tend to have more fiber. And it is the fiber that we want in our diet, because sometimes we can't even get the amount of vegetable that we want. All right? So we have to use some of these. So what I tend to do at times, I tend to bake, and then I have them stored in the refrigerator for later use. Again, I'm making, tend to test the edges, because we want the edges to be well done. Once the edges are well done, it's an indication that it is ready for takeout. So I'm going to test to make a flip. I tend to make 2 flips. Wow, nicely together. Nice. It's nice. So in case you're just trying, it's Malachi mmmrowe making Bammy, right? It's Malachi perspective demonstrating for those persons who want to try and say, oh, I don't have a flat iron. I grew up with my grandmother using a round Dutch pot, the one with that deep bottom. This is a Dutch, it is referred to as a Dutch oven because there's a cover for it, special cover. But this is a Dutch pot, and it heats up slow, but it holds the heat better than these thinner pots, right? So you can use it. You can use smaller container. I, for some time, use a ring, and a ring can be used to make. Again, your temperature has to be consistent. So this is time consuming. So you're gonna spend some time on it. All right. So at this stage, I'm going to move over another of my Bammy. So we're moving them over different stage. I am getting ready now to take out this one. Need to get it up. When I get it up, it's hot, and it depends on you. It's hot. Yeah, so I have to be toggling here. Getting rid of this extra dust. the pot back in order. Alright, so I have this amount move into the main pot. I have my spoon and I will use that amount plus 2 more. Oh, this time I'll put 3, making it a little thicker. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to spread. I normally spread to get the corners or the edges first, then I can level the rest of it. That is my strategy, to try and get it as level as is possible, and each edge has the same amount as all other area, and then I can level it off at this stage. Try to get the edges set. Again, I'm making bammy. Right, good, and this one will set for a few, and again you'll check based on that flame, a minute or so is good, then I'll turn it, minute to 1 minute and a half. Get some more in. Getting some more in, fill in this container. So this goes well. I was saying that bammy goes well with jerk pork, and it goes well with fish, but it also goes well as a breakfast idea. So you can steam it and having it with scrambled egg, right? That's one of my favorite, with scrambled egg, but I also like it with jerk chicken. I'll have it with basically anything that I have. If I have some vegetable, some steamed vegetable, I'll have it with it. So I'm not going bad at all. 4 bammies, cooling, 2 are cool, and 2 are cooling. Let us look back in our pot. Right? I have to get them as best as possible. And why I do this, based on this pot, it makes it easier for me to flip. So, yes, I'm making some bammy. And I'll get about 7. I think that's a good amount. I have some fish to prepare too. So at one point I may show you how I prepare my fish. But again, for our bammy, we tend to get a nice flavor from those persons who know sweet sop. Sweet sop, or those persons who are not familiar with that name, anona leaf, but we tend to use that one. Some persons refer to it as cherry moya, right? But again, they are separate. So we're looking in the pot, we say about a minute. Let me check, and I normally use to just go around the edge to see if it is good. Remember, what comes next is the flip. So based on how that is, seems like I can make a flip. So let me see how well I can toggle, set that camera to get my flip off. This one is not so wonderful. But let us see. Getting it shapened. Trying to get this one shaped nice. So after I make the flip, trying to get it nicely shaped. This one a little thicker, gives a little more trouble because I have to be toggling the camera Again, I am also appreciative of those persons who have been appreciative. Also, very appreciative of those persons who have been following the channel. Yes, even though at times, you know, it become overwhelming, but, you know, you have to continue, you know, putting up those content, good content on a whole. So again, it is Malachi perspective. I'm showing you how to make bammy, and I have shown you, you know, pouring the flour in the pot, the cassava flour, and letting it wait for a minute, flipping it, and also showing you the finished product are cooling, how I fill the container, my measuring container, so to speak, and explain to you how the flour is made. Again, if you do watch after this live is through, ensure that you like the video, man, share it. Again, we have to keep some of these things, these traditional things. Yes, we have modernization, but these traditional things have to take precedence, man. They have to take precedence. All right, let me get my hands washed. Right, so they have to take precedence. And again, these are some of the things that will keep us, or we can share to people, our generation to come. Again, if you like the video, man, give it a thumbs up. This slide, thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up. And I want us to share this as much as possible. Share it in all different platforms, or on all different platforms that you have. Share it with a friend. Right? Again, it is Malachi perspective, showing you or demonstrating how bammy is made. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'll show you another demonstration live. It's Malachi mmmrowe, the channel, the Malachi perspective.